Authorities in Texas are hunting for leads this morning in the murder of a county prosecutor and his wife. Mike and Cynthia McClelland were shot to death inside their home in Kaufman County near Dallas. That's the same place Assistant District Attorney Mark Hasse was gunned down in January outside the county courthouse. Right now joining us is Ed Lavandera, who's in Kaufman. Ed, what at this point are police saying about whether these killings are connected?
Well, that is the big question at this point, and it's still early. There's been very little information that has been released about this investigation and where things stand now. But clearly, 2 months ago, after the murder of that assistant prosecutor here in Kaufman County, a lot of people were on edge because of the way that was done. A brazen attack in the middle of the day as that assistant prosecutor was walking into work. And now, almost exactly 2 months later, the district attorney here in Kaufman and his wife gunned down in their own home. So obviously this raises a lot of questions as to whether or not these two attacks are related. But Mark McClelland had been very outspoken about wanting to bring the killer of his assistant prosecutor to justice. Listen to a little bit of what he said 2 months ago, just shortly after he had found out about the death of one of his co-workers.
I hope that the people that did this are watching, because we're very confident that we're going to find you, we're going to pull you out of whatever hole you're in, and we're going to bring you back and let the people of Kaufman County prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Anything that you people can do to accelerate our getting our hands on this scum will be appreciated.
So, clearly, the district attorney here in Kaufman had kept up the way he was talking about the killer of his assistant prosecutor, and that was a murder that had left a lot of people in this community on edge, and it had also drawn the attention of law enforcement officials across the state. Have been working very intently on that case, but so far no one has been brought to justice, and now a lot of questions being raised whether or not these two cases are related as well, Allison.
And knowing about the possibility of a link here, what are authorities doing to protect other people who work for the prosecutor's office, other authorities? Maybe are they keeping others from speaking out the way McClelland did?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know exactly, what kind of warnings have gone out to other county officials and law enforcement officials here in this county. Obviously, you can assume that many of these people are taking, great deal of steps and great deal of efforts to protect themselves, and that's probably the very thing at this point that they're very concerned about. If this is someone who has, some sort of continued and presumed to be an ongoing beef with law enforcement here in Kaufman County, you have to assume that those kinds of conversations are taking place not publicly, but many people are being urged to protect themselves.
I understand that Texas authorities had warned that a white supremacist group could be plotting to hurt law enforcement, and police thought there could be a link between Hasse and Eric Ebel, who's suspected of killing the prison director in Colorado. So I guess what are they saying about all this?
Well, that's one of these things that has been kind of swirling around the first case after the Colorado prison chief was murdered. Authorities there suspect it was Evan Ebel, the man who was caught in a high-speed chase and gunned down by authorities just a couple of hours drive from where we are here. But then we learned that reportedly that particular case was also being perhaps investigated, as it might have been connected to the murder of the first the prosecutor here in Kaufman County. That no direct links, as far as we know, have been drawn between those cases, but that is still kind of swirling around all of this situation. And now you add this new element, and it raises all sorts of new intrigue about what exactly is going on around here.
It certainly does. Ed Lavandera, thank you.